Feeling good, damn, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on.
What's going on? Welcome back to this week's video. 2 questions that I always get asked. 1, where do you find music for YouTube? And 2, how do you get comfortable in front of camera? Well, that's what this week's video is all about. So let's answer the first question. Where do you get music for YouTube? Well, that TikTok song is, as you know, a commercial track, what you'd hear on the radio or the television. It's not one that you'd normally hear on YouTube. And the only way that you can get it on YouTube is through a company called Licked. Licked have been a big supporter of the channel. This is not a sponsored video, although I am an advocate of Licked. Licked is the only space where you can actually get commercial tracks for your YouTube videos. They've got Anne-Marie, Noel Gallagher, Ziggy Marley. They've got a bunch of people on there that we've all heard of, and you can use their tracks on your YouTube videos. They've given me an exclusive offer to hand on to you guys. If you use the link in the description, you get your first download for free and then 50% off your second download. Well worth checking out. As I said, there's a link below. Definitely look into that if you want some cracking music for your YouTube videos that's going to make you stand out from your competition. Right, let's jump into question number 2 then. How do you get used to talking to camera? You'd be amazed how many times I get asked this. And I'm now at a point where I'm really comfortable with talking to a camera as well as being behind the camera and filming other people. So this video is just as much for my YouTube audience, you guys out there, as well as my clients and future clients, because I want to be able to send them this video just to explain these little tips before we turn up on set and shoot with them, just to make their life a little bit easier. Yeah, to make their life a bit easier. We'll get onto that next. Mistakes do happen. And how you can make the most of your shoot and look and present yourself as best as possible for your YouTube videos. So let's jump into tip number 1, and please bear with me for this first one because it sounds really obvious, but it's practice. Now I've got more to say about that. Obviously I've seen videos like this online before, but I've made so many videos myself for my own YouTube channel, for clients, with celebrities, with footballers, and one thing that I can say about being comfortable talking to camera is practice. So what I say to future clients is, or those that are wanting to get into the industry or get into YouTube, if you're considering starting a YouTube channel, let's say the first thing that you're going to do is release a video that week. For starters, I wouldn't recommend that because you'd want to get a back catalogue of videos. But if you give yourself a 30-day challenge, what I say to people is, if you practice talking to the camera every night when you get home from work or school or high school, college, whatever you do, if you come home on a night and just narrate your day to the camera, make that video. Get used to talking to the camera. If you do that for 30 days straight and look back from day 1 to day 30, you'll see how much better you've got at delivering that dialogue to camera because you get used to it. So getting used to talking to camera is the first thing. Talking in full sentences so that it actually makes sense. If you can get used to doing that just to your phone on a night, like a selfie, then videos never have to see the light of day. But at least you're 30 days ahead of everyone else that might just make a video and upload it to YouTube or social media. So first things first, get practicing. Tip number 2, scripting. Now, a script can be as long or as little as you need it to be. It can be actually word for word what you want to say, or it can be bullet points that you can just work from one bullet point to the next, whatever is most comfortable for you to remember and deliver some dialogue. I've seen some people where they deliver an actual script from a teleprompter, say, and we'll talk about that in a second. That actually throws them off, where some people are more comfortable just sort of like, I'd say winging it, but as long as you know your subject, you can wing it from one bullet point to the next and to the next. So it's a very clever way of doing it. But if you choose to use a teleprompter, I'm just going to show you mine, the one that we use with clients. This is a modern day teleprompter. It's basically a bracket where your camera sits on it. This hood goes over the lens, and then you've got a piece of reflective glass which you would put an iPad on. I use an app called Prompt Smart Pro. You can literally get a Word document, drag and drop, copy and paste into Prompt Smart Pro, and then install it into the teleprompter. I'll give you an example of what it looks like. So as you can see, if you are talking directly into the glass, there's a camera that sits behind. So if you're just reading it, it looks like you're talking to a camera, but obviously you've got a script in front of you just reeling away. Put a comment in the description if you know what song these lyrics are from. A little bit of fun for you there. But that's a really cool way for you to get comfortable talking to camera and having a script in front of you and hiding the fact that you're looking at a script. Really clever. I personally use bullet points. I've got my sort of headed topics which I want to rattle through for a video, but then because I actually know my subject, I've done my research, I've done my planning, I kind of just wing it through the video, which for me makes it a lot more comfortable to talk to. I think if I was trying to read from a teleprompter, it wouldn't work. That's just my personal preference. Everybody's different. Tip number 3, eye contact. So this is super weird when you first start talking to camera, but maintaining eye contact with the lens, even if you've got viewfinders, screens, you've got light shining in your eyes, you've got to maintain eye contact with the camera lens because that's your engagement with the audience. That makes it personal. As I'm talking to you now, it should feel like I'm talking to you sat there behind the computer screen, even though I don't physically see you there. I talk as though you are there. So it's like a conversation. You can really get a feel for what I'm trying to say to you. Eye contact is imperative when filming videos for YouTube. Above my camera, I've got an Atomos Ninja screen, so I could sit there looking at that screen thinking, right, am I framed right? Am I in focus? But this doesn't look right. I'm not looking at you, the audience. So I've got to maintain eye contact down the camera lens, down the pan. So really get used to doing that. Look down the camera lens. And it's the same if you're using your phone. If you're doing a selfie video, don't look at yourself on the screen, look at the camera lens. It feels weird, but that's the only way you can do it to get that real engagement with your audience. Tip number 4, creative control in post-production. You are the hero of your own story. You dictate the narrative, you write the script, you create the set, the creative, everything is down to you. So if you fumble over your words like I did at the beginning of this video, you can cut that out. You've got full control in post-production. If you feel like you delivered a section wrong or you want to deliver it a little bit better, you can redo it. Just leave the camera rolling and cut that section out. You would be amazed what we can hide and cover in post-production. If there's too many fumbles and too many cuts in one go, you can throw a bit of B-roll over the top there, hide all the cuts, and the audience is none the wiser. You deliver the piece of dialogue as many times as you need to give yourself the best chance of success online until you're 100% comfortable with what's being delivered. And finally, hold your nerve. It's natural to be nervous when talking to camera. But that's why if you take the practice in the first example and you do 30 days straight, when you come to talking again on camera, it's going to become a lot more natural and you're going to get used to it. Again, if you're working with a crew for the first time, we've seen it all before. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. But if you go through that checklist before turning up to a shoot, if you've done your practice, you know your subject, maybe you've got a script and you've been practicing your script using the teleprompter app at home, when you rock up on the day of the shoot with the crew, don't be nervous with them guys. They're not going to judge you. They want the best possible you to be portrayed on camera. That's all that we want. When we're behind the camera, I'm there trying to direct and coach people to get the best personality through that camera. So that's my 5 tips for getting comfortable with talking on camera. I hope that you found it useful. I hope there are some things in there that you can take away and implement into your storytelling process, into your YouTube channel. If you're a client and we're going to be working together in the future, take these tips for the day of the shoot, master them, and when we rock up and we film with you, give us the best version of you possible, because that's what we want to get online for market material, for your YouTube channel, whatever we're doing for you, we want the best you on that video. Don't forget to check the link down below for Licked and download your first track for free. And if you wanted to look at the teleprompter app, I'll put a link to that. All the equipment that we use is in the link in the description below. Check it out. It's a fortunate position to have the equipment. Every piece of equipment has got a reason for being there. It does make your life so much easier. So maybe the teleprompter and the teleprompter app could be a way for you to wiggle around and get even better on YouTube, even faster. As always, thank you so much for watching. Drop me a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back next week, as always, with a new video. I'll see you then.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling